Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft discussion. My name is Kimberly Quinn. Let's say that first, and I am so excited to just be with all of you in my living room today on this snuggly late December day with this beautiful champagne snow coming down in northern Vermont. So if that's not the case for you, just try to picture it. Picture this, white, holiday season, snuggly and sparkly with a fire going in the fireplace. And there's no place I'd rather be here than right here with all of you having this amazing discussion about falling in love with your life. Falling in love with your life. So, I don't know if this is obvious or not, but we'll just put it right out there that the main key to happiness is gratitude. So, we're talking about love. That's a power bigger than all of us. And I'm not talking about religion. If you want to make it that, go right ahead. I'm talking about love as a verb. And we're also talking, as a verb. And also, of course, spirituality and that connection that we all have, to ourselves and to each other. And it's very, very important to realize that love is a superpower. Love is a superpower, and gratitude is a key to the key to happiness, which is a lot really largely what we're talking about here because we're talking about retraining the brain. We're talking about when we practice gratitude as just like we practice anything else, we inevitably get good at it. And what happens is we start to when we practice gratitude each and every day. For me, it's using a gratitude journal and writing three things down I'm grateful for. I do it in the morning, and it's I am grateful for my family. I am grateful for my health. I am grateful for my hot tea, whatever. But the words I am grateful for are essential because neurons in the brain need to be trained, taught rigorously, as far as what you want them to do, much like a 2-year old, say a wayward 2-year old, because the mind, sort of wants what it wants when it wants it. It goes its own direction. So we've got to, just like we would train a toddler, we've got to stay on it like white on rice. So we're talking about we are what we think. We know that. That's the premise for Minecraft, right? We are what we think. Thoughts come first, feelings second, then actions or behavior are last. So we've really got to focus on, to become the boss of our brain, we got to get a grip on our thinking. And the place to start with that is gratitude. And somebody might say, oh, well, you don't know my life. And okay, and hard things happen. I'm not dismissing, and tragic things happen. I'm not dismissing any of that. And still, like we've said, in previous episodes, for the most part, life is not an emergency. Thank God. We can get that phone call in the middle of the night that's bad, bad, bad. And thankfully, that's more of the exception than the rule. And life's not even an urgency usually. Okay, not even an urgency usually. So most days we can find something to be grateful for, more than one something to be grateful for. So really, what might sound mushy gushy to you is not. This is neuroscience, and my doctorate's in cognitive psychology. I could talk about neurons all day long and not have one bored minute. It is all about the neurons, and people tend to think somebody just got hit with a happy stick, and or they're the lucky one that drew the happy, the golden Wonka ticket for happiness or something. That's not how it works. Now, certainly, we can never separate genetics away from human beings when we're talking about humans or even non-human animals. And so we have somewhat, and a little bit, but the high majority of our own levels of happiness and abilities to love ourselves and love other people and everything else is what we create ourselves. There's so much research on this, so much research that I'm thinking of Sean Aker right now in his book, The Happiness Advantage. But he's also whether it's that or just he's done a lot of research on it. I think I want to say it's 80%. Don't quote me on 80, but it's the high majority of as far as people's happiness levels come from what we're doing about it, not our life circumstances. Our life circumstances are only a teensy weensy itty bitty little bit of as far as what plays a role in our happiness. 80% plus, let's just say it's roughly that, is up to us. It's up to us what we do. So we're talking about falling in love with our lives and people saying, oh, but you don't know. Sure, I do. There's all kinds of so when you live to be a fabulous 58, and I'm used to saying a fabulous 57, but I just turned 58 We could go tomorrow, actually, and it feels great. It feels so good. And you don't get to be this old without having stuff happen, of course. But we've got to train the brain. We are the captains of our own ship. We are what we think. So we're talking today about falling in love with your life. And in addition to Sean Aker, I want to do a shout out there to Rhonda Byrne because she's written a bunch of things. But this book is called The Power. I think it's Secret, The Power. I don't know, The Power, Secret, The Power. She's the law of attraction lady. And she says that when you fall in love with your life, every limitation disappears. You break the limitations on money, health, happiness, and the limits of joy in your relationships. When you fall in love with your life, you have no resistance, and whatever you love appears in your life almost instantaneously. Your presence will be felt when you walk into a room. How do you like those apples, huh? Another thing is when we're living the happiness lifestyle, because it is a lifestyle, it's a choice. We have to have awareness, just like with anything else, right? We cannot do what we do not know. And once we do know, once we're aware, we become responsible, which my friend Dr. Dave says very frequently. We become aware, we become responsible. So it's kind of like you know better, you do better, right? So living this happiness lifestyle, it's every day is just lots of little choices. And it's the little choices that actually often make the biggest difference. Choosing to steer ourselves out of negativity, not just sitting back on autopilot, allowing negative internal dialogue to just take over the brain because that's what we do. There is no bigger thief of our life minutes than autopilot. None. And then Rhonda continues. She says, opportunities will pour into your life, and your slightest touch will dissolve negativity. You will feel better than you thought was possible to feel. That you Sorry to say that again. You will feel better than you thought it was possible to feel. You will be filled with unlimited energy, excitement, and an unquenchable zest for life. You will feel as light as a feather, like you are floating on air, and everything you love will just seem to fall into place seem to fall at your feet. Fall in love with life, unleash the power within you, and you will become unlimited and invincible. And you might be thinking, that sounds too good to be true. No, 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 no. It is all in the mind. I think sometimes we really take the mind for granted. For one, I'm a big fan of the mind, and we also underestimate the power. Our little baby cells are born with this beautiful, beautiful brain when we come into this world, and we often don't attenuate to it. That's a sexy 14 karat word for pay attention. We don't realize that just like anything else, when we nurture a plant, but we don't nurture our mind. That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. So Rhonda says, so how, so okay, so people are probably saying, okay, fine, I'll take all this, but tell me how, like, where do I even start with all this, right? So she says, so how do you fall in love with life? How do you fall in love with life? And she says, the same way you fall in love with another person. You adore everything about them. Okay. So this means this really has so much to do with gratitude because it starts in the beginning of the day, right? And I'll tell you, I've told you what I do in the past. Before I'm out of bed, I look out the bay window, which is towards my feet. I say thank you, and just say thank you. That's it. Two words. Thank you. Okay. And that's for me, it's God. You can say higher power, source with a capital S, universe, whatever you want. Okay. Then I swing around. When my feet hit the ground, I say thank you again. I say it out loud. My husband just used to me at this point. And when I swing around my feet and touch the floor, even though I only say the words thank you, I'm thinking about my spine's intact, my feet, my legs, my arms. I could swing around and bounce out of bed and it's all working. Okay. Eyesight, ears, everything. Okay. So it's a thank you out the window, swing around, thank you on the floor. From there, I head to put my hot tea in the microwave for 2 minutes. And then I just put a tea kettle though, so I'm gonna stop myself. And then my gratitude journal is right on the windowsill on the way out, or sometimes on the table right next to the couch. So I do not miss it. And then I write three quick things I am grateful for. Again, my family. I'm grateful for hot tea. I'm grateful for the beautiful champagne snow that's coming down right now. Whatever. And then that's it. I literally am done with those three gratitude sentences before the tea beeps. It's that fast. Thank you, bounce out of bed, hot tea, gratitude journal. And we know for a fact that it's roughly 17 days for a habit to shift and stick. Now, obviously, that's average because, you know, starting to do a 15-minute walk in the morning or adding a piece of fruit to your diet is not the same as quitting smoking, right? That's hence average. Average though is 21 days. I was stuck on the seconds thing. 21 days for a habit to shift and stick. And so the gratitude journal thing, and I ask my students this in Minecraft is that after 21 days, and we do a little check, and they said, "Wow, I started to find the good things in my day and look for them without even knowing." Yes, because your brain is taking on now a new momentum because the brain loves patterns and loves repetition, just like a 2-year-old. It is actually easily trained if we just stay with it. It's like being a good parent, right? Consistency, follow through. You got to be very clear and then follow through. Very clear and then follow through. So then Rhonda kind of continues with what I was just saying. I guess we support each other with this. She says, whatever you're doing, wherever you are in your day, look for the things you love. You can look for technology and inventions you love, look for buildings you love, cars and roads you love, cafes and restaurants you love, stores you love. Walk down the street or through a store with the intention of finding as many things as you can that you love. Look for things you love about other people. Look for things you love about other people. When we focus on this, it's much easier for us to get past the annoying. It really is. Then she says, look for everything you love in nature. Oh my God, I do this every day of my life. Look for everything you love in nature: birds, trees, flowers, perfumes, and the colors of nature. See what you love, hear what you love, speak about what you love. And I'm going to add in, write about it in the morning. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. So if you want to live this big life loaded with abundance, and I mean, big in the authentic sense, all things good, your heart's desires, all kinds of abundance is landing in your lap, living this high vibe life on your high flying disc, just so fulfilled. Gratitude is the key. Looking for it, actively looking and seeking it out every single day in your own life and what you're looking at, just like we just said with Rhonda, in nature, just everywhere. And then I'm telling you, it's just amazing. I can't really put words to it. I don't want to say magical, but it's just divine, is what it is. And she winds up with a quote from a Sufi poet. She says, "This person's from 1315 to 1390." Wow, and I just having a hard time reading the writing. It looks like it says Hafez. Anyway, this person says, this is a quote: "Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, 'You owe me.' Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky." And it just seems like, in a very broad sense, you can separate people into two categories. And obviously, it's very broad. The givers and the takers. You've got the givers who are looking to constantly contribute to themselves and keeping ourselves filled up. And when we keep ourselves filled up, we've got more to give to other people, right? Oprah says it. Whatever's in the cup is for us, whatever overflows is for everybody else. So we keep ourselves filled up, that just positivity just overflows, overflows, overflows. And we give to the world, actively seeing the positive, actively loving in the sense of the verb, right? Actively loving other people. So you got the givers and you've got the takers. If you've ever met the drainers, really. Who was just saying this to me in a ski lift line? Some random person. Just a few weeks ago at Stowe, actually. He called them the radiators and the drainers. Same idea. Givers and takers, radiators and drainers. And he said to me when had this nice conversation, and then we went on our way, he said, radiate, remember, radiate positivity, and then just kind of like ignore the drainers. So there's the givers, give, loving life, positivity, and there's the drainers who just are the you owe me people, constantly looking for what's in it for them, the people that often grab all the free stuff off the table when you don't even need it, like who cares? Givers, takers, radiators, and drainers. That's it. So be a radiator, be a giver, fall in love with your life. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful Northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.